Hey everybody, I'm in the driver's lounge at Salt Lake Terminal and I just ran into Pennychaser. Let's do an interview.
Ubiest of the tubiest. That's you. And I'm a 50 plus. I'm here with Pennychaser, one of the Ubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. He went through the process, he did it right, and guess what? We just so happened to be at the Salt Lake Terminal together. He saw me walking, he says, "Hey, I'm Pennychaser." I'm like, "Dude, thank you. You saved me some money." I was about to have to go upstairs to send him his headset. So I'm gonna give you your headset today. Thank you for, oh, you know what I did? Did I show you on the right side of it? Let's do that way. See, he's got the 400, and it's got the added little earpiece on that. And congratulations, man. And I'm
You didn't have to, because I didn't go through your recruit.
well, you did a great job, and I really appreciate everything you've done. You've been a strong contributor to the fan page and to the YouTube channel, and so you deserve every bit of it. And so for the subscribers, we got to give them a little something other than get to be jealous, because you guys can do it. You know the process. You got to just hit up Autumn. She'll be at the end of this video. I'm gonna go talk to her in a little bit, and either I'll make another video separate with her. I am gonna try to do a live with her so you guys can call in and talk to Autumn and ask her questions live. I only did like two lives so far, one live so far. I'll get more with it, okay? But anyways, not to keep running off, I want to talk to Pennychaser a little bit about Swift's process as he went through it, okay? Yes, I'm sweating. I just got out of the shower, so.
I ran into the shower.
Yeah. Not in the shower.
Not in the shower.
Yeah, okay. Because we waited. As I was coming out, he was walking down the shower hallway. And man, I'm glad he did it. Glad he saw me, because this was a really exciting. Yesterday wasn't such a good day for me. I had to end up, I got to the shipper, and I kept ringing the bell for them to come, and they can't hear the bell. I sat there for like 3 hours. And then it was supposed to be a live unload, but it was Sam's, and it was a dropping hook. So it actually turned out okay. It just got me back here late today. But today is looking up, brother. I'm glad we got a chance to see each other.
Wow.
So we're at the Salt Lake Terminal, and you went to school here at the Salt Lake Terminal, right?
Yes, I did.
And the actual school process, just from the time that you started with the school and the time that you got done with the school, how long did that take you?
I got here February 15th. It was snowing bad.
Oh yeah,
I drove here.
Yeah.
So it took 3 months almost, right? 2.5 months.
Yeah. Okay. And after that, then you got on the Mentor's truck.
No, actually, the whole thing.
Oh,
The whole thing.
Okay.
About 3 months.
Oh, from the time you started the school
Yeah.
to the time you got off the Mentor's truck to go solo, it's been 3 months. So that's not too bad, considering the weather in Salt Lake, because there's only so much you can do when when it's snowing and the weather's bad, and it slows the process down a little bit. However, that's a good cue for them to hear them come now while when we're getting out of the snow season, and shorten that time up quite a bit. So let's skip to your mentor phase now. Just a quick chat we had before here. It wasn't all the way positive.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Well, we're real. Okay, and we know that there's a mentor problem. That's why we're gonna work on some things. And as I go upstairs and talk to the terminal director, he may have some new interesting information for me about the mentoring program as well. But talk to me about your experience with the mentoring program.
Mentoring program. You know, I'm pretty sure there are good mentors, but there are quite a few who are not so good.
Right.
And I got stuck with the not so good one.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, you're with the mentor in a truck. You have to drive 200 hours. First mentor, we drove team, and unfortunately he didn't run too hard, and we were sitting a lot.
Yeah.
So, me, I'm a little, you know, one of those persons that want to get things done, but
Right.
he was a little too slow. So, also he didn't teach me any backing.
That is a
That is a
common
problem.
thing. That's a common thing. I even had a subscriber whose mentor didn't even teach him how to slide his tandems, never weighed a load,
right.
anything. And I was pretty twisted with that idea, and I still a little bit am. But as talking to him, I found out that he was dedicated. He was Cabela's. He was Cabela's dedicated, and their loads really light, like 23,000 pounds. So they never really had to wait.
Right.
But that doesn't mean because you don't have to do it that your student won't have to when he gets his truck. So you failed him if you don't teach him how to do it.
Right.
And so that was no excuse for him to not train his student. Not train. I'm sorry. Teach his student properly. We train animals, not humans. We teach humans, and so you know that kind of sucks. And I do know that there are probably less good mentors than there are good ones, and that's because a lot of them get into it for the wrong reasons. Okay, so. How about your second mentor? Did you when you got away from that one? First one, obviously.
Yeah.
So what about the second mentor?
Oh, he was a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually led me back.
Yeah.
You know, he did spot me every time.
Yeah. Good.
You know, everything went pretty well. Just that, you know, you're inside a truck, small space, and two big guys in a small space.
Right.
I mean, we didn't have any, you know, altercations or anything, but
Yeah.
you know, it could be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet.
You know, if you could go through that, then you can come out of it pretty good.
Good deal. Good deal. So now you're going solo.
Yes, I am.
So have you pulled your first load?
No, this afternoon I will.
All right. So we're going to hold him to it. I'm going to do a Skype or something because after that first load, I want to know how you felt about it. And it's you know, you kind of get some butterflies in your stomach a little bit.
I'm kind of nervous right now.
But I'm going to tell you, it is an exhilarating feeling after you get it done. After you do that first one, it's have you looked at the load yet?
Yeah, it's not too heavy. It's under 10,000 pounds.
Good, and that's good for going through the mountains. You know, because these trucks going up the mountains with heavy loads, you can go down to 25 mile an hour going up those up the grades. And you know, if you don't watch it, you can do 100 mile an hour going down. So you know,
like the Colorado accident.
Yeah, and that's just lack of training. There's no reason why. You know, they're talking about this company had these issues with brakes before, but that's not these people don't drive trucks. They just run their mouth and sell news. But the fact is, he didn't control the speed before he started his decline. He should have, if he's 25 mile an hour up that incline, he should have never let that truck go over 30 miles an hour going down.
Exactly. So
that was his issue. He should have been full Jake and stab braking and controlling the truck, but. You know, and it's also a deal too. If you're in a manual transmission, that you need to be very, very good with a manual transmission when you're going up those mountains, because you have to put that you have to choose the gear you want before you start the decline, or you will never get it in gear. Now you in neutral, coasting down.
You don't want neutral.
Oh my God, you're in trouble.
Get it in.
You're in trouble. You just dominance, all that, because you're done. There's no way you can stop that.
Mentor's truck was stick.
Yeah. See, you got some manual experience. That's good. That's good. Have you done your trip plan and everything?
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah, I know what to do.
Yeah, you got a little bit of time,
Yeah.
but do you know if it's going to be a drop and hook or is it a
Yeah,
live
it's a
hook?
drop-in.
That's perfect for your first.
I know.
That's perfect for you. So now you don't have to be overly concerned about the where you're going to park your trailer. But do you know where it's going?
My hometown, Vegas.
So is it going to a Walmart or something like that?
No, it's actually a Swift drop yard.
Yeah,
And
well,
somebody
there you
will
go.
pick it up and go to press.
Yeah, the T-call. So now you got an excellent first gig
Mm-hmm.
because at the Swift yard you can just find your spot and
Exactly.
make you an easy bag, and you might be able to find a pull through.
I
To
know,
put your
those-
trailer.
yeah, that
Those
would
are
be
really
nice.
easy.
That would be
If
nice.
I were you, I would get that first bag into a spot out of the way at the Swift yard
course.
first, and then do it yourself. Don't be worried about how many times you got to pull up and get straight. Doesn't matter, just as long as you get it in the hole. But you'll get that first solo bag with no pressure, and it's
Right.
out of the way. So
Those
even
truck stops, man,
yeah.
all the eyes on you,
Yeah, you're 100% right, and I've gotten to a point where I can kind of get in there pretty easy now. But you don't have to. You don't have to go to truck stops. You can. There's other ways. In fact, not last night. Because last night I made it back here, but night before. Oh my, that was a bad day. I'm gonna do a video about that day. It was my first Costco load, and my truck ran out of fuel again. Again, and I had a quarter tank of fuel. At least the gauge showed a quarter tank in it, and I ran out of fuel. I had to go in, and luckily, it ran out of fuel. The Love's was maybe 50 yards
50 yards.
across from just right across the street. So I had to walk across the street. I got a fuel can, put 5 gallons of fuel in it, put 5 gallons of fuel in the truck. I'm a mechanic, So I was able to prime the diesel. If you're on a diesel out of fuel, bad day. But I primed the engine, I got it started, went to the fuel island and filled it up. But if I had to wait for Swift to send it would have been sickening because they would have just been out. The guy could have just walked his truck to where I was parked. But I was so twisted, man, because this truck, the fuel gauge doesn't. You never know how much fuel's in the truck. So now when it gets to half, I got to go get some fuel.
So it's broken?
Yeah, the fuel gauge. Well, it's there's a level sensor in the tank. It's called a fuel sending unit, and it moves up and down like a little float.
Right.
So when the fuel gets low, the gauge is reading off of that arm in that fuel tank. Well, what happens is that arm stopped moving. It gets to a point where it stops moving, but the fuel keeps going down.
I see.
So you think that the gauge thinks that it's telling exactly what's happening. So they need to replace that fuel sending unit. Like, oh, fuel gauge bad. No, it's not. It's just being told that, to tell me that it still has fuel in it when it doesn't. And so, and when you want to run the way I run, I mean, I drive my clock out. I keep running, and you can really put yourself in a bad situation when it comes to fuel in that situation because you don't stop very often. Okay, and but it worked out, and I still got to the customer, and I wasn't at the appointed time. I was actually 30 minutes technically late, okay, but when the truck broke down, I called Swift and they got it set up for me. But guess what? When I got to the shipper, the guy says, "Man, I'm glad you didn't get here at your appointment because the guy who was before me was still in the dock. He'd been in the dock for almost 3 hours." So I was like, dude, I pulled up, and literally about 15 minutes later, the guy pulled out, and it was a Swift
Perfect
driver.
time.
Yeah. So it actually turned out really well. Everybody was happy, so the day didn't turn out so bad. But that day, because of that issue, my clock got down to nothing. I had to use personal conveyance, and around that shipper is a lot of new construction buildings.
Okay.
And I found a spot,
Empty spot.
and it was a side road, in the business complex. So it was you know, pretty safe environment. And I backed up to a dead end where they had the roadblock. So I backed up to it. Of course, my lock's on the trailer, so I didn't have to worry about anybody going in there. And there were businesses on each side, but I was way back at the dead end, so I wasn't feeling too bad about it. And I went ahead and did the 10 there. And you're gonna come up. You have to be creative sometimes.
Of course.
Okay, and especially when you got a late drop, because it'll be
Parking will be an issue at truck stops.
that's right, and you have to be creative. And the more you do it, if you have a good mentor, he'll teach you right. And very rarely would you go to a truck stop, you know, and unless you.
For me, I'm gonna try to avoid truck stops.
Exactly.
So unless I have to fuel or take a shower.
Correct.
Because I'll be, you know, like you, cooking in the truck.
Yeah.
So,
And also, if you prefer truck stops, especially females, they don't think that they would try to do something like what I did the other day. And you got to be careful too, because you have an obligation to keep yourself safe and keep the equipment safe and park through the guidelines of Swift. Okay, so you know, you just can't go park anywhere. It's got to be someplace well lit. You know, there's some security there that, you know, you just can't go park in part of the town where you know it's not good. Okay, but the mom and pop truck stops, meaning the ones that are not Loves, they're not TAs and all these things, just mom and pop truck
there's
stops.
quite a few of them. Like,
Whoa, man, yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
but for some reason, like my mentor, he always goes to Loves.
Yeah.
I guess it's the rewards points.
right. Loves beats them all when it comes to reward points, because they're so convenient to use. You know, TAs, you got to go to that little kiosk thing, and then they print you out some receipt you got to take to the cash register. It's just, you know, man, why? I avoid TAs as often as I can, and I go to Loves. The Loves put the points on your card, and I mean, you cannot redeem them for cash, but you can buy stuff for cash, the cash value that's on that Loves card at the cash register. You don't have to go through any extra steps. Right. And so, yeah, I feel that Loves every chance I get.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, I've used up enough of his time. I appreciate you, man. Really good job. And
it's awesome I ran into you today.
Yes, it was. And I hope you enjoy your headset. And again, we thank you guys. And you want to give them the boop? It's right there.
Right there.
That's the boop button. Right. Here we go.
Oh, it's over here.
We got it.
Hey everybody, 50 Plus here. What do I do when my recruiter won't return my calls? They're lying to me. They don't have answers to the questions I'm asking. Problem is, once I get those questions, it's already too late. Industry standard. Once a recruiter has got you, they got you. You belong to them. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you my recruiter's information. Her name is Autumn, and if you're thinking about joining Swift, that's who I want you to contact. Give her a call. She's going to send you through the process. Eventually, you're going to wind up on a mentor's truck. When you get on that truck, you're going to be on that truck for 200 hours. For 200 hours, I want your phone in the bunk. If you're willing to do that, I'm going to send you a Blue Pirate headset. You need to let Autumn know 50 Plus sent you.